Hey everybody. Today I have decided to leave the Greenwood behind, but that's only because I have a much more special place to bring you. Today I am at the Falls River Square in downtown Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, with all the noise and the cars, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm here to talk to you about the High Priestess. Let's go have an adventure. This is the Cuyahoga River, which used to be the extreme western border of the entire United States. And I am so fortunate to live close enough to visit such an important historical landmark. Now, it's just a patient river trundling along. When the fool encounters the High Priestess, his river is no longer a great deal off in the distance, but is instead as close to him as the water is to me now. He takes a step that much closer to his own intuition. I have found the High Priestess in downtown Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, and I can walk into and out of the card whenever I feel like it. Oh, I love this place. It's not perfect, okay? There's lots of automobile traffic, but that, with the birds in the background and the river rushing and barely another human being in sight, make for a perfect meditation. Let's have a look at the card now. Now, this is the High Priestess in the Robin Wood Tarot. Like we've mentioned before, Robin Wood takes a more pagan angle with his deck as opposed to the more traditional imagery. But several things should remain the same between a Rider-Waite-Smith High Priestess and the Robin Wood High Priestess. Let's have a look at those details now in the card. Now, Robin Wood's High Priestess maintains this flat blue background that you'll find in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but in the Robin Wood, he's naturalized it and given it a reason to be that color. He's turned it in to the night sky, which I think is a really neat thing about the Robin Wood Tarot. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck in the Golden Dawn system that Aunt Pam and Arthur Waite were a part of, that blue background, that blue color is supposed to symbolize spirituality. So if you look through your Rider-Waite-Smith deck, if you have one, and you find the cards that have that flat blue background, you'll definitely find a more spiritual message in the major arcana in those cards, which I think is, neat trivia. Let's zoom out just a bit. Okay, the black and white pillars have been replaced by these black and white trees. I think that is the artist's choice, and a tree is just a more pagan symbol than a stone pillar. But the black and white trees, just like the pillars, are meant to symbolize Boaz and Jachin, or the end and the beginning, and the High Priestess, as always, sits between them. Her crown and the crucifix have been replaced by this headdress and amulet. The symbols are, a Wiccan pagan symbol, but this doesn't change the fact that she has spiritual authority in the heart and the mind, just as in the original card. Now, instead of her robes being blue and white, Robin Wood has just blended the two colors. She still represents spirituality and purity, but he's just made an artistic choice with blending the colors instead of two separate garments. The sacred scroll carried by the High Priestess has been replaced with what I can only maintain must be a book of shadows. Still a collection of written wisdom. There's a few new things about the card that I should point out that I really like. The first is that Robin Wood's High Priestess carries a scrying crystal, and she holds in her hand the ability to know things that are previously unseen, which is very important. And the moon has been taken out from under the foot of the High Priestess and put back in the sky where it belongs. The High Priestess must live alongside nature and is not, in command of it. The High Priestess is the number 2 in the major arcana because it is the second place that the Fool stops along his journey. In the Magician, the Fool has learned to alter the outside world at his whim. In the High Priestess, the Fool learns to take stock of what that means exactly. The High Priestess sits and is still, where the Fool is kinesthetic and full of life. The High Priestess thinks, where the Fool elocutes ceaselessly. The High Priestess is a card that deals with hidden wisdom, with the knowledge of things that are as yet unseen. The High Priestess is the beginning of a quiet understanding of the raw power contained in the Magician, and rather than use it, the High Priestess ponders to herself how it should be used, and when is it appropriate to use the power of the Magician. When the High Priestess appears in your readings, it's time to start asking questions about long-held wisdom. It's time to start asking the client about knowing the answers to their issues, but not seeing those answers, rather by choice or by ignorance. It is time to start asking questions about common sense intuition, about how they feel about their own issues. If a person exhibits the High Priestess, then what is it that makes them stop and think instead of act? If a situation exhibits the High Priestess, then it is time to take another look to see the things you missed when you saw it at the first. The lesson that we can learn from the High Priestess is one of quiet contemplation, of consideration and understanding. And then, when that is completed, we must trust ourselves. We are all so proficient at life. We are capable and prepared and ready. We pay all of our bills. We breathe in and out all day long. We feed ourselves when we're hungry. We sleep when we're tired. We are all so good at this living thing. And the High Priestess, she teaches us that we have all the tools that we need. We always have. But we must trust ourselves enough to access them. whatever it is that life is choosing to throw your way, you have the ability to escape it. You have the ability to overcome it. You just have to look for those answers inside yourself. And when you feel like you've found an answer, you run it through your filters. If you are responsible for your own life, if you are respectful of the lives of others, and if you are safe in your own life, then the answer that you have found is a correct and appropriate course of action. When you feel like no one else believes in you, remember that the High Priestess does, and that I do too. Thank you so much for getting out of doors and into the cards with me yet again. It was my pleasure to show you my private High Priestess spot, albeit in the middle of a bustling city, which I don't think I shall ever want to do again. And for walking along the banks of the historic and beautiful Cuyahoga River with me. If you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to contact me at the email address on your screen, tarotchangeslives, all one word, @gmail.com. And as usual, if you enjoy the kind of videos that I make, I ask you to please subscribe to the Tarot Changes Lives YouTube channel so that you can be notified immediately whenever a new video is uploaded. I wish you thanks. I wish you peace. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.